Hello, English 100 students. In this video, I'm going to go over the narrative essay assignment sheet. This is the same assignment sheet that you're going to use for the rough draft and for the final draft of this essay. So be sure to review it when you first start to do the rough draft assignment. The due date that's listed here is for the final draft, so just be aware of that. You'll need to look at the due date for the rough draft for that portion of this assignment. So for this essay, you're essentially going to be doing some storytelling. And it may seem like that's an odd thing to do in this class, considering the kinds of writing that you're going to do in your program. But just think about the ways that you will have to tell a narrative of events in, say, a case study, or the ways that you'll have to communicate with a reader who wasn't there what happened with a certain client or situation. So this narrative writing skill is actually really important in the field of psychology. So we're going to do a little bit of practicing. In this assignment, you're going to write a 3-page narrative that explores and describes a time when you had to adjust your language to communicate with a group or community that you identify with. So this is just going to be a demonstration that you think about and explore times when you know that even though your identity is the same in different group settings, you might have to adjust the way that you communicate. This could be as simple as when you talk to different people in your family, or it could be as complex as when you should use one language that you know or another. It depends on your life experiences and your particular identity, the groups that you associate with. That's all going to be up to you, what situation you choose to explore and what story you choose to tell. A couple of pointers. You will need to use an introduction and conclusion in this essay. So that might just be a framing for the reader. So explaining by having a thesis what that situation was, how you had to alter your language, and what it taught you about your communication style and its intersection with your identity. It might just be that simple to have that kind of thesis and sort of give your reader an idea of why you're sharing this story. So the conclusion then would continue to be okay, this is a great story. Tell me what it means to you. In this section, under audience, I want to point out something really important. Your primary audience for this essay is your instructor. However, your instructor is the reader who's trying to get to know you a little bit. So your tone can be a bit more informal and conversational. You don't have to be worried about taking a very academic and scholarly tone. You can use things like contractions like isn't and don't. You can imagine that your reader fully understands why you're exploring this topic. So you don't have to be quite as formal as you normally would. You do, however, want to understand that your peers are going to read your draft in the discussion and give you some feedback. So you do need to choose a topic or a story, an event that you're comfortable sharing with all of your peers as well. So when you're thinking about what narrative you want to choose for this essay, be sure to remember that your audience will be slightly wider than just your instructor. As we go through this course, we're really trying to help you understand the different contexts and rhetorical situations that you're going to be writing in as you go through not just this class, but all through your program here at the Chicago School. So we're giving you these different parts of the assignment sheet to help you sort of frame that so that you can think about that when you go to another class that maybe asks you to write but doesn't point out all of these specific instructions. So for example, here in the context or rhetorical situation, we're thinking about considering this as your introduction to your learning community. You don't know your peers or the instructor in this course very well yet. So think about how you'd want them to know more about you as a person. How can you show them who you are versus just tell them? Use descriptive language. Help us understand you as a character. Detail the setting. Really try and exercise some creativity in this particular essay. Okay. A statement about AI. This assignment really is about letting your own voice come through. So please do not use AI for this assignment. The reason is your instructor wants to hear from you. We want to hear about your experiences. We want to hear about what you think. We want to hear you tell a story. We want to help you practice the skills of sequencing events so that it makes sense to your reader. We want to help you build a skill set. So using AI when you're trying to build a skill set isn't really appropriate. Once you've built a skill set and you want to use it to help you do something a little bit more efficiently, that might be a place where you could use AI in the future. If you do have AI to help you during the revision process, please include a reference at the end. There's a link here to format it in a particular way according to APA standards, but you do need to disclose when you use those tools. There's also a detailed checklist to help you kind of go through the different phases of creating this essay. So you do not have to use this checklist. It is not going to be assessed in any way. It's here strictly for your benefit. So if this is something that helps you get started or helps you feel like you're on track, please do look at this portion of the assignment sheet and utilize it as you see fit. Scrolling down, there's also an assistance section. So if you are not sure how to format your paper in APA style, please use the links listed here. There are also some examples. You do not have to list any references other than if you use AI for editing. For this essay, you don't have to do any research, let's say, so you wouldn't be listing references on a references list. However, there are ways here to help meet with a writing tutor. So if you want to have somebody read your writing before you turn it in, please do reach out to the Office of Student Writing and Learning. There's also help formatting your paper because while this is a slightly more informal paper, you do need to use APA document formatting. That means you do need a title page and you do need to format the rest of the document as shown in this link. Okay, the bottom is a rubric. We will always include a rubric in this class when you are being graded on a major assignment, and this just allows you to look at what is your instructor going to be looking at when they grade your work. I'm going to let you go through this on your own, but I just wanted to point out that it's here. If you're concerned about what exactly you're going to be graded on, please do look at this rubric section. If you have any questions after watching this video or carefully reviewing your assignment sheet, please feel free to reach out to your instructor with any questions.